So hello everyone and welcome back to Power Pro Academy. In this live, we are going to see how we can clear the PL-900 examination with ease. So I want to know you that I have cleared my PL-900 examination yesterday. I was more focused on the practical part as well as the practice assignment which is provided by the Microsoft. So here we are going to see how we can implement the practice assessment of the Microsoft easily. So if I talk about the PL-900 examination, it is the basic level examination of all the tools which resides in Power Platform. So basically PL-900 examination tells us that how is your understanding related to the Power Platform tools or the Power Platform. So if you want to plan to take the exam of this certification, then you can actually take this. To learn this examination or to practice the question, the best way is the practice assessment of Microsoft. Because in the main exam, you will get 35 questions and there is about 45 minutes of time there to complete these 35 questions. But in the practice test of Microsoft, there is 50 questions. So you are eligible to do the more questions and more related question to the Power Platform. So it's a good thing that you can implement more questions of Power Platform there. And as you know, practice makes a man perfect. So this is the best thing that you can do the practice over there and implement it into our PL-900 examination. So today in this video, we are going to see that what are those questions that comes in the PL-900 examination, and we will also implement the practice assessment of Microsoft, where we are going to read every question and gives its answer. So it's better for you to get into this video and apply your skills or the knowledge for PL-900 examination and give the answer of the questions. So let's begin and let's see how we can apply for the PL-900 examination. So you will all know how can we apply for the PL-900 examination. So you will write here PL-900 certification and the first link, which is of course from the Microsoft Learn, is open, and here you can see there is a certification which is Microsoft Certified Power Platform Fundamental. Here, this is the certification page of PL-900 examination where you have got your overview regarding the PL-900 examination, how can you prepare from the Microsoft documentation, and there is a practice for the exam, which is practice assessment to assess your knowledge. So this is the main part of this page which we are going to cover. So when you click on the take the practice test, the test will appear, and there are 50 questions and you have to answer them, and on the basis of the answer you will get your score. So the criteria of this practice assessment to pass it is 80%. So you will get the 80% in this practice assessment that will get you passed in your PL-900 examination. So what we are going to do here, we have to just click on the take practice assessment, and then we are good to go with the our practice assessment. So here is the first question. You build a Microsoft Copilot Studio Copilot. You add a topic to the Copilot. You need to train the Copilot to understand how someone might ask for a topic. What should you add to the Copilot? So here it is said that you build a Microsoft Copilot and you added a topic to the Copilot. Now you need to train the Copilot to understand how someone might ask for a topic. So how someone asks for a message to trigger that topic. So what should you add to the copilot? So ask a question, call an action, show a message, or trigger phrases. So I think the answer is trigger phrases. Let's check this out. Uh, Maybe I am wrong. Okay, so the trigger phrases is the right answer. So when you create a topic, you need to create the trigger phrases to trigger that particular topic. Now, the next question, which is you create a Microsoft Copilot Studio Copilot, you need to ensure that the Copilot understand natural language phrases. So how can you understand the Copilot that they or it will understand natural language phrases or NLP? So what can we add into the Copilot that it can understand NLP? So there is an option, use a topic, service channel, power automate action, and custom entity. So I think the custom entity will be the right answer. And yes, this is the right answer. Now the next one is a company has a customer service portal. Now the next one is the company has customer service portal, customer log complaint through the portal. You need to extract the city and product name from the complaint before routing them to a specific customer service center. Which Microsoft Power Platform feature should you use? So basically, you have a portal and customer log their complaint over that particular portal. Now you have to extract the city product name from that particular complaint. So what can you do? So this can be done by the AI builder. So that's the right answer. Now, the next question is you create a custom AI builder model to track the count of product by category. So you are creating a custom AI builder to track the count of product by category. Users report that they are not able to use the model from within the Power app that they use. So you are creating a custom AI builder to track the count of product by category, and you are implementing that model into your Power app to use it to the user. You need to ensure the model is available to the user. So what would you do? I think you have to, okay, so user report that they are not able to use the model from within the Power app that they use. So it can be published the model or share the model. So I think if I published the model, we have to share the model to use them to the user. So this is the right answer. You have to share that model. Now the next question is a company plans to use AI builder to improve business productivity. You need to determine which pre-built AI model are available for use. So which three type of models are available? So okay, so there are pre-built AI models in the AI builder. So what are the three pre-built AI models in the AI builder? So I think the first one is text recognition, the second one is language detection, and the third one is sentiment analysis. Let's check this out. Okay, so these are the right answer. Now the next question is a company uses Power BI. You need to collaborate with others. So you need to collaborate with others to build visualization. So what should you use? So to collaborate and to use the Power BI, we can use Workspace in Power BI service. So that's the right answer. Now, the next one is a company uses GitHub repositories for source code control. Now, the company plans to create visualization in Power BI to analyze repository using including commit and pull request. You need to create reports for repository users. What should you do? So basically, we have to create uh, the visualization for GitHub repository. So what we can do here? Okay, so I think there is a template for GitHub repository visualization in Power BI. So what we can do, so I think there are the first one can be the answer or the last one can be the answer. So build a sample for the Power BI developer sample GitHub repository or install a template app in the Power BI service. So I am confused between these two. So build a sample from the sample GitHub repository or install a template app. So I can go with the last one. Let's check it. So this is the right answer. Install a template app in the Power BI service is the correct answer. Now the company stores data in different system. You need to show the data by using Power BI. Which three data sources should you use? So what we can use as a data source in the Power BI. So we can use SQL Server, we can use CSV file, and we can also use a Excel workbook there. So this is the right answer. Now the next one, a company uses Power BI. You need to aggregate a text field by adding it to a visual in a Power BI report. Which aggregation should you use? So sum, median, and latest should be used with the numerical fields, and there the field is text one. So we can go with the count aggregation. So this is the right answer. Now the next one, so you create a Power BI report, you need to share the report with internal user. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct answer present a complete solution. So there are two ways in this scenario how we can share the report to our internal user. So add a comment inside the report. This can't be the answer. Add the report to the favorites. This isn't. So these two are our answer. Embed the report in a secure portal and the use the Power BI mobile app. So this is the correct answer. Now the next one is you plan to build a Power BI report for a sales team. Now you should need to display the sales revenue for the top 15 product category. So which type of chart should you use? Now for the sales revenue, we can use the bar graph because we can easily create 15 uh, bars in our bar graph. So I can go with the bar graph. Let's check it. And yes, this is the answer. Now the next one is you need to build a low code application that includes online form for collecting and displaying information for user. What should you use? So we have to focus on the low code application that includes online forms for collecting and displaying information. So if we talk about the low code application, then it's possibly the Power Apps. So this is the right answer. Now, the next question. So here, a company uses Microsoft Power Platform to manage support activities. Support technician must be notified by email when a new support request is created. You need to recommend the appropriate tool to meet this requirement. Which tool should you recommend? So there is a thing to focus that support technician must be notified by email when a support request is created. So it's depending upon the support request. When the support request is created, the support technician will get the email. So this can be done by obviously with the Power Automate. So this is our right answer. Now the next question is a company uses a third-party customer service solution. The solution is on-premises and uses Microsoft SQL Server as the data is stored. You need to show the customer service data in a Canvas app. What should you use? So to show the data which is on premises and uses Microsoft SQL Server, we can use connector. So this is our right answer. Now the next one, you build a Canvas app for user to request Okay, so I think my voice was not audible for some moment. So now I think it is okay and I am audible now. Okay, so you create a Canvas app, you add a label control to your screen, you need to set the text color to red. What are three possible ways to achieve this goal? So I think you should first of all select the label control, select the color picker and choose the red over there. The next one is you have to go to the color property of the formula bar and set the color from there. And the third one is you have to go to the property pane, choose the advanced tab and find the color property there. So these are the right answers. Let me check if I am audible or not. Okay, so I am audible there. Now you plan to create a web-based knowledge. You need to allow supplier to register themselves to gain access to information stored in the knowledge base. What should you use? Okay, that's a tricky one. So you plan to create a web-based knowledge base. You need to allow supplier to register themselves to gain access to the information. Now this is, I think, a portal app. Let's check it. Good. A company want to streamline the new employee onboarding process. You need to allow new employees to manage their active certification and work history by using an Excel workbook. So what should you do? So for attaching the database to the Excel, we need Canvas application. So this is our right answer there. Okay, so the next one is a company uses Microsoft Power Platform. You need to identify the feature of model-driven app. So what are the three features of model-driven app? So the first one is they adjust the layout of the UI automatically in response to change in the device orientation. The second one is they embed Power BI dashboard, and the third one is they guide users by using business workflows. So these are the right answer. Now the next one is a company uses Microsoft Power Platform. You need to recommend a use case for formulas in Canvas app. Which two actions should you use? So we can filter a list of rows and we can save data when a user select a button. So these are the right answer there. Now the next one, you create and publish a Canvas app, user report issue with the latest version of the app. You need to revert the app to an earlier working version. Which two actions should you perform? So first of all, we have to select an earlier version of the app and click to restore, then publish the restored version of that app. So these are the two correct answers. Now the next one is you build a Canvas app. The Canvas app is tied to a Microsoft SQL Server database. You need to add a control that allow user to modify value of each column of the row in the table. So what can we do? So we can use edit form there. So this is the right answer. A company uses Microsoft Power Platform, which to control in a Canvas app can be connected to a data source. So this should be form and gallery. Now the next one is you configure a Canvas app to track and order office stationery. The app allows user to order multiple stationery items. The items selected by the user must be reset each time a user reopens the app. So you need to store user selection, which function you can use. So as we see, there is a Canvas app to track and order office stationery, and the app allow user to order multiple stationery items. When we uh, talk about multiple items, then there is a term called array or collection. So I think the answer is collection. So this is the right answer. So let's check it once that I am audible or not. So I am audible. The next question is a company uses Microsoft Power Platform. You model the data in the Microsoft Dataverse and create a model driven app. You need to create a new model driven app for a different group of users. The model driven app must restrict the column in a table that user can change the value. So which are the two actions for this? Okay. So what we can do, select the form in the app designer and create a new view there. So, okay, so uh, we are wrong here. Uh, create a new view is incorrect. The correct answer is create a new form for the Microsoft Dataverse table. So this is the correct answer and we are wrong. Now the next question is, a company uses Power Automate to integrate application. You have a legacy application, and when you can see there is a legacy application that does not have API, then always go with the next of flow. Now the next one is, a company uses a Microsoft Copilot Studio Copilot to manage routine customer requests. You use Power Automate to pass these requests to backend system. You need to mimic the on-screen action to customer service agent perform manually by using RPA. What should you use? So this is a bit confusing. Let's see what we can do here. Company uses a Microsoft Copilot Studio Copilot to manage routine customer request. You use Power Automate to pass these requests to vector system. You need to mimic the on-screen action. So for mimicking the on-screen action, I think we can go with the desktop flow. So this is the right answer. Now, the next question is, a company plans to use Power Automate to help digitize its operation. Okay, so the Power Automate helps in digitizing the operations there. Company requires a solution that creates, let's see, I am audible or not. Okay, I am audible. Okay, the company requires a solution that creates invoices in an application that does not include modern API. So if the solution or the application does not include modern API, then we can go with the desktop flow. Maybe I am correct. Okay, I am. Now the next question is, you plan to build a Power Automate flow. The flow needs to loop through all rows in a Excel spreadsheet and update the first column value of all the row with the current data. You need to configure the action for the flow. So what kind of action we should use it? So if we want to use looping across any table or any Excel spreadsheet, then we can use apply to each. It's like for each loop or the for loop in the programming language. So this is correct. Now the next is, you have a Power Automate flow that triggers whenever a comment is posted on a blog site. You need to configure the flow to meet the following requirements. And what are these following requirements? So require user to fill in their subscriber ID when posting comment. Save the subscriber ID in uppercase for the Power Automate flow. So these are two conditions over there, I think, and so we can use expression, condition, trigger, or template. So require user to fill in the subscriber ID when posting comment. Save the subscriber ID in uppercase from the, so the, I think these are not conditions, this is expression. So this was the right answer. The next one is, you create a flow by using Power Automate. The flow must notify a user every time a new item is added to a SharePoint. Let's read it twice. So you create a flow by using Power Automate. The flow must notify a user every time a new item is added to a SharePoint list. You need to ensure an email notification is added to the flow. What should you use? Okay, so you create a flow by using Power Automate. The flow must notify a user every time a new item is added to the SharePoint. So I think it is the trigger. The flow must notify a user. Okay, so this is an action. So this is the correct answer. Now the next one is, you create a Power Automate flow. A connector in the flow returns an array of object. You need to filter the array. What will you use? So we will use data operation here. So this is the right answer. The next one is, you use Microsoft Dataverse to develop a data model for a company. You plan to use a custom table here named problem to store information about problems reported by the customer. Problems will be assigned a low, medium, or high severity. You need to capture the problem severity. So what type of column we should use here? So as you know, there are choices like low, medium, or high severity. So there will be only one choice. So we will choose choice. So this is the right answer. Now, the next one is a real estate company plans to use Microsoft Dataverse to track apartment. You need to create a new column to store whether an apartment is available for rent, for sale, or both. So here we can see that we can select both also. So in that case, we will choose choices. So this is our right answer. Now the next one is you plan to create a data model by using Microsoft Dataverse. You have a column that allow users to select one of the two options. So there is an option of approve or reject. So you need to allow for adding more option to the column or changing the label of the option in the future. So what you can do here? So we have to select allow user to select one of the two options. So we have to select one from the two option and we can add more options in the future. So if we want to select one option in the options, then we use choice. So this is the right answer. Now the next one is you plan to use Microsoft Teams connector in a Power Automate Cloud Flow. Which two components are defined by the connector? So these are action and credentials, I guess. Okay, so actions and trigger is the right answer. We are wrong here. A company uses Microsoft Power Platform. You create a custom connector from an open API file. You need to allow other makers in your organization to use the connector. So what you can do? So we can simply share the connector to the particular user. Now the next one is an API has a a company has a custom API. The API download Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word file from an internal server. You need to fetch the data inside Power Automate. What are the two connectors? So we can use premium HTTP connector or we can create our custom connector here. So these are the right answers. And the last question is a company has a public facing portal for its partner. You need to fetch the data from that portal. So when we fetch the data from the third party portal, then we can create our custom connector. And with that, we are all good to end our practice assessment. So we are done with our 50 questions practice assessment, which is provided by Microsoft. Let's submit it and see what is our score here. So here I got 96% and this is very good to pass our PL-900 examination. So in this practice assignment, when you get 80 plus score, then you can rate yourself that you can definitely clear our PL-900 examination. So what I can say to you that please train yourself with this practice assessment of Microsoft and get your certification now. So this is okay. So now I am audible. So what I can saying here that I have got here 96% and this is a great score to clear your PL-900 examination. So what I am suggesting to you that with your practical knowledge and with your YouTube guidance or the question which are provided on the YouTube, please do this practice assessment of Microsoft because it will get you the more questions related to your PL-900 examination and it is very beneficial for your certification. And if you got higher than 80% here, then definitely you can clear your PL-900 examination. So This is from my side in this live. We can see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Happy coding.